Good evening guys, and welcome to another episode of Video Game News, the show that's bringing you the latest and the freshest from the world of video gaming whenever I decide to make it. Now today we have a plethora of stories to go through, and when I say that, I actually just mean 5. So without any further ado, let's just jump right in. Now the first news story is coming to us from the world of Metro, and more specifically the Metro 2033 movie that was unfortunately cancelled because the scriptwriter wanted to, quoting, Americanize it. Initially, this movie was actually announced back in 2016, and there have been some issues with it. It was halted and then it was reinstated, only to unfortunately be officially cancelled in these past few days because the scriptwriter wanted to Americanize the setting, moving it from Moscow to Washington DC, which just unfortunately made a lot of the narrative decisions in the movie illogical and made the entire story lack their original purpose, and the setting then made it good. Obviously this meant having to replace some of the factions, some of the enemies, and a lot of the visuals, which just overall resulted in something that would most likely end up being terrible and not desirable anyways. So, you know, at the end of the day, maybe it's better that it got canned rather than pushing it just for a quick buck online. And our next story is coming back from the world of The Walking Dead, the final season, which, if you've been following the news, has luckily been reinstated after Telltale's closing and their subsequent cancellation of the series. Now, I have reported a few weeks back that Skybound Entertainment was picking off where Telltale left with a lot of the developers and trying to get this game to us with the final episodes that were still not finished. However, back then we did not have any specific time frames that we should be expecting these episodes to come out. Well, luckily, only 4 days ago, we received the news from the newly formed team called Still Not Bitten of approximately 40 developers originally from Telltale. We'll be finishing up episode 3 of Telltale's The Walking Dead final season somewhere around the 15th of January in 2019. Now obviously, these dates can still shift a little bit because of the changes and evolutions the studios are going through. However, now we at least have a somewhat solid marker to look forward to.
I guess the world got pretty hard since I left it. Kid growing up in it, he'd be hard too. You're in my shoes now.
And next up, are you a fan of Monster Hunter World? Are you a fan of the Witcher series? Well, you just happen to be in luck, my friend.
Doesn't seem all bad, this jaunt through another world. Slaying monsters happens to be a particular specialty of mine. Let me handle this one, Hunter. At a price, of course.
It was only a few days ago where we learned via a trailer that the world of Monster Hunter will be getting a whole bunch of Witcher 3 related content, including the ability to play as the character of Geralt in a free update somewhere in 2019. Now obviously we don't necessarily know all the specifications yet. Geralt will be fully voiced, at least according to the trailer. For those of you who are waiting on PC, you might have to wait a little bit longer because it will be arriving first on the consoles and only afterwards for the PC version. And next up, not directly related to a video game but again to a movie, the first Sonic the Hedgehog live action movie posters have come out, and well, let's just say they're questionable at best. Multiple people have been pointing out when looking at these pictures how weirdly uncanny and uncomfortable this shadowy live-action adaptation of Sonic makes them, with its somewhat humanoid-looking limbs completely covered in blue hair. But hey, I guess until we see the movie come out, we will not know how exactly creepy it will be. But I'm just gonna leave you off with the pictures of it, and you let me know your opinion down in the comments below. And finally, a bit of drama from the streaming world. A Twitch streamer by the name of Mr. Deadmoth figured that would be the best way to entertain his audiences, that's satire right there, by going off camera, engaging in an argument with his partner, after which he allegedly assaulted them. You can even make out the partner saying stuff like "woman basher" and "you hit me in the face" off camera, with his 2 children, one 20-month-old and a 3-year-old one, in the house at the time. Now obviously this did not resonate too well with the audiences, and a lot of hate towards this person has been raised. Now his Twitch account has already been deactivated, and 2 days ago he was actually arrested and bailed out with a court date due to this Thursday. And I did say it was the last thing, but there is a extra bonus story because the Video Game Awards happened only a little bit ago, and there is a whole bunch of new announcements to go through, including a new game from the original creators of Fallout New Vegas, a new Far Cry game, and a ton more. So if you haven't had the chance to catch up on all the announcements from there, I highly recommend you guys do so because there are some interesting things to talk about there. But anyways, with that, I'm gonna leave you off. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's obviously a lot more happening in the world of video games, but I just picked the things that I figured you would be the most interested in. I wish you all a bit of rest off today, and I'm gonna see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.